Erica. Yes, my presentation is detailed, but it's not data. So I know I'm going to give you a break from the data world and the spreadsheets a little bit, kind of take it back up to, I know you do, Gary, and you did such a great job, but we got to take a breather. We got to step back for a second and talk about just generalized marketing and why digital plus post is so important, what it is and why it's so important, right? But before I get into that, I would like to know a little bit more about you guys while your mouths are full. So I'm going to have you guys raise your hands, okay? I would like you to raise your hand if you are utilizing more than 3 different marketing channels to promote your organization. 3 or more. Okay. Okay, good, good. 5 or more? 5? Okay. Okay, excellent, excellent. Who uses direct mail as one of those channels right now?
This entire row.
Okay, yes, all of you beautiful people back there from the post office. Okay, wonderful. I am going to talk to you a little bit about the challenges of direct mail, okay? Direct mail is one of my favorite marketing channels, but there are a lot of challenges, and one of the biggest challenges are you can't quantify the results. Right? It's very, very difficult to quantify the results of direct mail because it is an offline marketing channel. And it's not like you have a little camera on that direct mail piece knowing exactly what these people are doing once they receive it, right? So it's a struggle, it's a challenge, okay? And sure, there are different things that you can do, QR codes, landing pages, specific codes, business reply mailers, you know, well, if they send in a donation in the envelope, I know they got the direct mail piece. But really, when you're just utilizing those means to quantify the results, you are getting this much of what actually happened as a result of the direct mail. So it's not really fair, right? It's not really fair to the direct mail campaign. The direct mail campaign gets a little bit shafted in that regard. Did you know that the average person, the average human being, sees 2,900 marketing messages a day, per day, between billboards, between logos on shirts and digital advertising and even your boxes that are in front of you? We see 2,900 marketing messages per day. How are you going to stand out to the rest of the marketing messages that people are seeing? How are you going to do it? Repetition, right? If you just put one message into the universe to your prospects, even if you have the best data in the world, these people are our most ideal prospects, or these people are our current donors. People are busy. They need to see you more than once because they're seeing 2,900 marketing messages a day. They may love you. They may want to donate to you. They may want to go to your event, but they may not even be seeing it because we're busy. We're busy human beings and we see a lot of messages, okay? Let's talk about email for a second. I love email, but unfortunately, it is diluting, okay? When you get in front of your computer in the morning, we're all busy people. What do you do when you open up your inbox? What do you do? Delete. Right. Click, 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 delete. I'm not even reading it. If I don't recognize that it's coming from somebody that I'm expecting an email from, then I'm deleting it. I don't have time. I need to prioritize because I have 150 emails in my inbox and my day hasn't even started, right? We all do the same thing. Now, let me ask you something. When you got mail 7 to 10 years ago, what did you do? You may still do some of this today, but you go to your mailbox and you take out that big stack of mail and you stand over the trash can, right? And you go delete, delete, delete. Oh, this looks interesting. I'm going to save that. Delete, delete. You sort it, right? That's what you do, okay? When email first came out, you're like, oh my gosh, I have an email. This is awesome. It was exciting. It was new, right? But now it's not. It's diluted, okay? We people have an attention span of 8 seconds. When it comes to email, 8 seconds. And if you're sending people this long book about how your cause is amazing and you have this wonderful event and you need their help and blah, 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 they're not reading it. They're not reading it. I promise you. Okay? So we have to understand that. We have to understand that the landscape is changing when it comes to marketing. You know where emails are great for? Your existing central file, your house file, and staying in touch with people and giving them updates on what's going on and what their money is going towards, right? That's what emails are great for. So I want to take a look at different marketing channels, and this is when you compare it on a one-to-one basis as a standalone marketing channel. So when we look at direct mail versus digital channels, direct mail achieves the highest response rate that there is. According to the DMA response rate report, we've never seen response rates as high as they were in 2018. The 2019 DMA response rate report is due to come out next month. So we'll see how we did in 2019. But 9% response with a house list. Do you guys know what a house list is? Existing, right. People who have already donated to you or opted into being on your list and receiving communication from you. That's your house list. That's your central file, okay? Prospect list is like what Gary was talking about. When you take that central file and you analyze it and then you come up with prospects that you want to go after, average response rate is 4.8%, okay? So that's direct mail as a standalone channel. When we look at all digital channels combined, they don't hold a candle to direct mail. 0.62%. Mobile, anybody do SMS texting in here? Great, great. 0.2% response on average. Email, we just talked about. Email is a 0.1% response for both a prospect list and a house list. It is not made to be a huge generation of leads or donation funds, okay? It's meant to just be a keep in touch method, okay? Social media, 0.1% response. You guys go on social media and you do a post, or you might boost that post, right? You might put some money behind it to go after prospects. 0.1% response. Paid search. Anybody do paid search engine optimization? No? Pay-per-click? No? Okay. Another one, 0.1% response. And then display advertising. When you go on to the Google Display Network, okay, and you say, I want to show this ad to everybody in this area, I'm going to display my ad all over the place. It's 0.02% response, okay? It's kind of like the spray and pray method, the shotgun approach, right? Let's see what happens if we just put this message out here, which is great for branding, but not necessarily the best way to utilize your marketing funds, okay? You guys ever hear of a company called Nordstrom? Yeah? Pretty big organization. Well, the owner of Nordstrom decided that he was going to cut out direct mail from their marketing plan when it came to customer loyalty. Now, he thought that this was important because your donors are your customers, right? And the customer loyalty program at Nordstrom tanked when they took out direct mail. Not only did that part tank, but their whole sales statistics went down for an entire quarter. The only thing that they changed was getting rid of direct mail and moving to an email approach. CEO came out and said, we cut our direct mail and this is what happened, so we're going to be putting it back in. It's a great press release. We can send it to you after this lunch and learn, but honestly, direct mail is not dead. It's just difficult to track, right? Big organization made this mistake thinking that their direct mail wasn't doing anything, and guess what it was? 56% of people surveyed think that printed material is more trustworthy form of communication than any other form of communication. Why? Why do you think that is? We live in a digital world, okay? I have 4 children, 16, 13, 11, and 1, okay? My 16-year-old, my 13-year-old, and my 11-year-old know how to design an ad. And they know how to post it online. Anybody with that kind of experience can say, I have this company, and here's my website, and here's my ad, and give me money, okay? A trustworthy organization is going to take the time and the financial means to print something up and send it to me. And this is really huge for your industry, for nonprofits, right? Because there's a lot of scams out there. There's a lot of things that occur that people are afraid of just giving their money to, right? So if print is the most trustworthy form of communication, it needs to be an integral part of your marketing campaign, your marketing strategy. And 92% of direct mail is opened, and that's according to the USPS informed delivery statistics, which I will get into in a little bit. So why is print dead? Why is direct mail dead? Why is the post office going out of business? La, 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 right? There's this buzz that comes out, right? Say, oh, direct mail, isn't that old? Isn't that done? No. The way that people respond is different. Beautiful thing used to happen 7 to 10 years ago. You send out direct mail, the phone would ring, right? Or people would be sending you your business reply mailers back with money in it, checks in it, right? That doesn't really happen anymore. Why? Because MIT did a study and 90% of people who are interested in your cause or donating are going to go to your website first before they take any other sort of action. They're going to your website first. They are checking you out. They're looking at you and they're making sure that they support your organization. Okay? Everybody has access to the internet. You guys' phone is within hand's reach? Yes? Okay? We all have access to it. I can't BS my kids anymore because they look it up on Google. I'm like, damn it. How am I going to do this, right? So, according to Google Analytics, 96% of your unique website traffic is leaving without taking the action that you want them to take. Registering for the event, donating, doing what it is that you want them to do. Okay? That's a lot of people. So what happens? You send out the direct mail. People are interested. They trust you because it's a piece of print. They go to your website. They look around. And then they leave. Where do you think they might be going? To what? To lunch? Maybe to lunch, yeah. Checking their email. Do you think it could be that they might be looking at other organizations that do what you do?
If an ad pops up.
Maybe, if an ad pops up, yeah. People like doing their due diligence, right? They like shopping, knowing that what they're supporting, they truly believe in, right?
I have a question.
Sure.
That 96% of people who leave the website without taking action, is that action on the website, or is that any action?
That's any action. So that's whether visiting an event, calling, donating, sticking something in the envelope, any of that, okay? And the analytics, I'll explain to you how that breaks down when we get into the product and how we know those people. 80% of sales, and I know this is really weird, 80% of sales are made between the 8th and the 12th contact. 80%. Your sale is your donation. Okay, you want them to take that action. Okay, if you are not hitting the same people 8 to 12 times, you are leaving money on the table. Point blank, this is what happens, okay? Remember that 2,900 marketing messages per day. And think about some of the very large nonprofit organizations that solicit money. How many times do you see their logo? Make-A-Wish Foundation, right? Red Cross, Goodwill, Salvation Army. How many times do you see their logo? How many times do you see them in front of you before people are like, oh yeah, we're gonna donate to there because they're reputable. I recognize that because I see it often, right? So 80% of sales, I want you to hang on to that statistic as we keep going. Do you guys know the difference? I know we've been using this buzzword of omni-channel marketing. It is a buzzword, right? It's new. It's kind of like, yeah, I've heard that before. A few conferences that I've gone to, a few lunch and learns that I've been to. Do you guys truly know the difference between omni-channel marketing and multi-channel marketing? Anybody? No. Okay, cool. Let me define it for you. Multi-channel marketing is probably what most of you are doing right now. You're utilizing several different marketing channels to get your message across to either the same or multiple audiences, but with each channel that you utilize, you are changing your message. You're saying one thing through email, you're saying another thing through direct mail, you're utilizing another thing through social media. You know, you're kind of changing it up a bit, and you might be changing the audience a bit. Okay, that's multi-channel marketing. That's good. I want you to continue to do that. Digital plus post is an omni-channel marketing strategy. Omni-channel marketing means you take the same audience and the same message, and you multiply that message to that audience through several different marketing channels. That's the difference. So that is why if you guys are doing any sort of social media campaigns, or if you're doing any sort of digital marketing right now, digital plus post is not going to step on the toes of that marketing strategy. because we are doing an omni-channel marketing strategy. So we're extracting a piece of your digital strategy and specifically connecting it to the direct mail. And I'll go through how we do that shortly. So let's talk about your strategy for a second. The 4 P's of marketing, have we heard of this? Product, price, place, and promotion? 4 basic P's of marketing, okay? Unique selling proposition, what makes you stand out in the crowd? We're gonna talk about that. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about market segmentation, but I think Gary kind of covered all of that this morning, so I'm not gonna dive too deep into it, okay? But I wanna talk about 2 of the 4 P's of marketing, place and promotion, okay? And we have, what do we have here? A billboard, a TV commercial, a radio advertisement, and digital ads. What do all of these placements have in common?
They're expensive.
They're expensive, okay. Okay, what was that back there?
Broad audience.
Broad audience, okay, got it. Good.
Passive.
Passive, good. All right, let me ask you this. Have you ever seen a billboard up for one day and then taken down the next?
They're digital now, so they're different when you drive by.
They do change, right? But it's typically the same 3 or 4 for quite some time, right? The same company saying the same thing on a billboard over and over and over again your daily drive to work, right? TV commercials. I'm a big football fan, okay? I'll watch a single football game and I'll see 4 to 5 of the same commercial during that football game, okay? I'm over the Verizon with the pilot and he's got to call his mom when he lands. You know what I'm talking about, okay? Radio advertising, over and over again, right? You're like singing the jingle at the end of the day. And digital, you go to Amazon, you don't buy a product, oh my gosh. It's following you everywhere, right? You're seeing it everywhere that you go. So repetition. So let me ask you a question. What goes out the window with direct mail? What? And this is not just you guys, this is like everybody, I'm saying this rhetorically, okay? I will send this once and see what happens. And if it works, I'm gonna continue to do it. One-on-one marketing, repetition, 2,900 marketing messages a day. Every other marketing channel utilizes repetition. It's the same for direct mail. Oh, well, let me just change. You know what? We said this last time to the audience. Let's change it. Let's mix it up. We gotta do a different design. We have to say a different message. No, you don't. Because your prospects and even your donors who know who you are, they're not sick of your marketing message. You're sick of your marketing message because you're sick of seeing the same thing over and over again. But your potential audience is not sick of it because it hasn't even resonated yet. Okay? And I'll prove to you that this is true. You guys remember this? What is it?
How many likes to get to the center? Lollipop.
Yeah. What kind of lollipop though?
Tootsie Roll.
Tootsie Roll Pop, right? You don't see Tootsie Roll anywhere there, right? You don't even have to see the name of the organization. Who's this? Flo. Awesome. Where's Flo from? Progressive. How many people in this room have Progressive insurance? Look around. 3. Good for you. Flo's awesome. But we all knew that it was Flo, and we all knew it was from Progressive because Progressive utilizes Flo in all of their marketing, right? And this has to do with branding. So do you guys know the difference between branding and marketing? Those words are used interchangeably a lot, but do we know the main difference between the two? Branding is the pull, marketing is the push. That's the main difference between the two. So marketing pushes you to do something, right? But branding is pulling you in to the awareness of my organization. That's the difference. Marketing is trying to get you to take an action, and branding is trying to make you aware, this is who we are, this is our brand. Does that make sense? So let's play a game. Everybody know these logos up here? Okay, what's number 1?
Apple.
What's number 2? How about number 5? Number 4? Number 3? You guys are all geniuses. This is amazing. You guys know these logos because you see them everywhere. There's no company names up here. You guys see them everywhere, and you might be sitting there and thinking to yourself, my goodness, Erica, I do not have the marketing budget of Apple. What are we talking about here? Let me just tell you, you also don't have the demographic of Apple either. It doesn't mean that you can't be the Apple of your demographic and utilize the same successful actions that Apple utilizes to make you see this logo and go, Apple, I know it. We want your audience, your niche market to look at your logo, look at your brand and say, I got it. Archdiocese of Cleveland, right? I got it. Diocese of Cleveland, sorry. I've got it. I see them. I recognize them. I know them. We do that with Make-A-Wish Foundation. We do that with Red Cross. I got it. I know it. So just because you're not as big doesn't mean you still can't implement the same successful actions that these organizations do. Okay? It's about reeling it in a little bit and not being so all over the place with the marketing. I'm going to dabble in this. I'm going to dabble in that. And I'm going to change this message here. I'm going to change this message here. Doesn't work that way. Works the same way with what you say. It's not just your logo, it's what you say. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on Geico, on car insurance, but yes, it is Geico. And Geico has been saying that same thing for 20 years. 20 years they've been saying the same thing. They even made a commercial making fun of themselves for saying the same tagline for 20 years. Okay? Just do it. I'm loving it. There we go. So it's not just what your imagery is. It's not just what your logo is. It's also what you're saying to your audience. There needs to be something there that's there all the time, where they look at it and they go, that's familiar. Because trust is so important in your industry. Trust is so important when you're asking people for money. Bed Bath & Beyond's got it right. Guys ever seen this card before? All the time, right? All the time. They don't change their message. It's almost like you expect it. It's like, I have a bridal shower to go to, or I have a baby shower to go to. Where's that 20% off from Bed Bath & Beyond? And then you go to the right, oh man, I forgot my postcard. Well, that's okay. You can bring it back, and we'll apply 20%, bring it back with your receipt. You never do. Maybe you do, but I never do. I'm like, damn it. You don't have one back there that you can just scan. You send it to me all the time, right? But this is an example of repetition in direct mail and creating that recognition, right? And that brand awareness. So let's talk about unique selling proposition, okay? What makes you different? This is very important because when you think about how should I position myself in my marketing, guess what? You have competitors, okay? Most of you sitting in this room are competitors with each other because everybody's in competition for the same marketing dollars, right? The same donation dollars, excuse me. So what makes you different? Why should I spend my money with you and towards your cause versus you and your cause, okay? What does your customer want? What does your donor want? What do they care about? What matters to them, okay? And then what does your brand do well? What do you guys do well? What do you excel at? And what does your competitor do well? Not what does your competitor not do? What does your competitor do well? Because you need to know your competition and what specifically they're doing in order to position yourself in the market against that competitor. So you should know what they do well. Are you guys on your competition's lists? Mailing lists, email lists, frequenting their website, seeing what they're doing? You should. You should. In order to be good marketers, you need to. So does anybody in this room, do you have a unique selling proposition? Anybody?
So I work for Koinonia. We serve, we're a nonprofit that serves people with developmental disabilities.
Okay.
A lot of our competitors have something that's like called a sheltered workshop. There's nothing wrong with it, that they just keep people, they kind of protect their population, where we believe that life is better in the community. Mm-hmm. So where other people just kind of keep you where you are. We, try to help. We believe people with developmental disabilities deserve to earn minimum wage. They deserve to work alongside us when they can, and that they deserve to be in the community.
I love that. I love that. Do you put that on your marketing?
It's a long statement.
You said it beautifully, though.
Yeah,
We belong in the community.
we do.
I think that's a beautiful,
Right
unique
on my-
positioning
right
statement.
on my website, community is a beautiful word. And then it says, so it's integration, and it's
Sure.
words off of that, so.
I love that. I think that's beautiful. And you see, that's differentiating. That's a differentiating factor. We don't just want to protect this group of people, we want to integrate them. We want them to be a working, thriving part of the community because we're people too. I love that. I think that's great. Anybody else? If you do not have one, utilize these bullet points to kind of brainstorm on one, take it back to your team because this is something that should be on the forefront of your marketing. We should know what makes you different, why are you in business? And it's going to link very closely to your positioning statement. Okay? Every nonprofit organization helps in some way. So when we say this, best customer service or even help is not a unique positioning statement because everybody helps. Okay? So think beyond that. Get creative with it. Market segmentation, I promised I wouldn't go into this with you too much, but I do want to ask a question. How many of you did a customer or donor analysis within the last year? Okay, good. If you have not, please do it. I implore you, please do it. Because you cannot solicit for new donors if you don't know who your existing donors are. And if you're hanging tight to that list, and that's what you depend on year over year over year, in the next 3 to 5 years, you're in for a rude awakening. Okay? So we need to constantly be out there and making sure that we are duplicating our best donors. And Gary did an awesome job explaining to you how you guys can do that. So now let's talk about what we're really here for, which is creating the ultimate marketing approach. Okay, Erica, you just opened my eyes to a bunch of stuff. Now what do I do? Right? How can I do this? How can I implement this? Well, digital plus post, it is a marketing-based solution, and it's designed to do 2 things for you. It's designed to seamlessly track the effectiveness of your direct mail and enhance the overall results by integrating with digital marketing. So talking about integration, we want to take what's good about digital and what's good about direct mail and make your marketing approach great, right? So you are spending your marketing dollars wisely and you are not leaving any money on the table. So essentially, digital plus post is made up of 7 individual technologies and they are bundled together as one, okay? And I'm not hiding this from you, this is mail-centric. You're at Midwest Direct here, okay? We want you to utilize direct mail. We want that to be one of the forefronts of your marketing plan, okay? But we want to enhance it and make it better and make it not a guessing game that your direct mail is actually working. So we want to show you the attribution of your direct mail. So I'm going to go through each one of these features and explain to you what it is and how it works. And I think after our next break, we're going through the actual dashboard to show you the analytics because as Michelle said earlier, it doesn't just stop at list and creative and offer now. We have to go deeper and analytics is everything because knowledge is power and it will make you better marketers. Okay, so we're going to start with social match. Social match is our pre-mailing warm-up. Okay, and it's important to note that people are more inclined to take action once they've seen you on social media before receiving your direct mail piece. So what do? We take your mailing list, the exact people that you're mailing to, not a lookalike audience, not, okay, here are your donors and here are people that look like your donors. It's your exact mailing list and we match it to Facebook and Instagram accounts. And then when the mail goes into the mail stream, and you guys mail nonprofits, so you know, it takes 7 to 14 days or longer to hit mailboxes. Sorry, USPS, it's what you guys say, and it's what happens, right? So it's kind of like, okay, is my mail gonna hit? What's happening? Well, what's happening while your mail is in the mail stream is those same people that are on your mailing list are gonna see your ads on social media over and over and over again. And then that goes for a total of 14 days. So they've seen your message multiple times, and I want to remind you of something that we already went over, omni-channel marketing approach. So whatever your direct mail piece looks like, that's what we're going to be saying through social media. Whatever it is that your tagline is on your direct mail piece, that's what we're going to be saying through social media. So we're already building up that familiarity basis, okay? So this is what it looks like. Very simple example for everybody in nail salon, okay? If you are seeing this ad over and over and over again for 14 days, and somewhere in that mix you're receiving this postcard, your eye is going to be drawn to it, right? Wow, that looks familiar to me. I've been seeing this. Okay, 30% off mani-pedis. I got that offer because that looks familiar to me. The 80% of sales are made between the 8th and the 12th touch. So we want to make sure that we're touching the same audience multiple times to build that up. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, awesome. Dashboard, analytics, super important. You're going to be able to log into a dashboard and see the results in real time. So you will be able to see out of your mailing list how many people were we able to reach on social media, because we can't match everybody. I wish we could. We can't. Okay? But you will be able to see how many people we were able to reach from your mailing list and how many times the ads have been displayed to those people and how many people clicked on your ad to go through to your website even before they receive the mail piece. We already have them interested. We already have them engaged. Okay? And then because this is social media and we're following an individual, we know statistics on those individuals, right? So we will be able to see, and we'll show you how this filter works in the next session, but you'll be able to see gender and age ranges of the people that are engaging with your social media ad. And then you can compare that to the profile or the demographic that you utilized for the list to see if there's even more fine-tuning that you need to do. Or let me ask you a question. If you know that females are seeing your ad more than males, how else could that help you? If you're creative, right? Does your creative need to appeal more to females versus males? Or does it need to appeal to both, right? We can be smarter marketers if we take this data and put it to use. So the next feature of Digital Plus Post is mail tracking. So no more, when is my mail going to reach mailboxes? We can actually track and tell you when your mail is projected to reach mailboxes, where it's projected to reach mailboxes, and when it's confirmed to reach mailboxes. And we do integrate with Google Maps so you can see where and when this is happening as it's happening in real time. So you're going to be able to see the projected mail date and the confirmed mail date, the percentage of mail delivered. How is this done? You guys ever see this intelligent mail barcode on your mail pieces? That actually means something, right? It's unique for every mail piece that goes out, and the post office scans it and then runs all of their raw data through this massive database, and then we take it, put it through our business analytics, and give it to you in a way where you can understand it. So right down to the granular per piece level, you'll be able to see what is happening. Now, do any of you guys utilize email in conjunction with your direct mail? Good. Good. So what you can do is you can pull down this list, see when the mail is going to be delivered, and schedule an email to go to the person the day it's going to get delivered or the day after, whichever, right? So you can now integrate your email with your direct mail based on that serendipitous moment when they're receiving that mail. Make it more impactful. So now you're hitting them from social, you're hitting them from mail, now you can hit them through email, okay? And then you can, does anybody seed their mailing lists? Yeah? You can do an address search and see where and when your pieces are hitting, right? And then through our Google integration, if you really want to see the street view of their home, you can. Just like Amazon shows you a picture of the package on the front doorstep, right? You can get as granular as that if you want to. You can also see a non-scan report. If for whatever reason the post office didn't scan the pieces, you can see exactly what pieces weren't scanned. That's your difference between 98% delivered and 100% delivered. So we don't make it a guessing game, we show you, okay? And again, data is power, right? So we want to make sure to show you all of the analytics. Great, informed delivery. One of my favorite products. I love it. So excited about this. Does everybody in here, have you heard of informed delivery? Do you know what it is?
I use it.
Awesome.
It is awesome.
It is amazing, right? They may not know. Do you not know? No? Okay, so informed delivery is where you sign up with your home address, your residential address with the post office, and they're going to send you an email every day of what's coming in your mailbox. Yeah, a picture of your mail. It's quite fantastic because you can check your mail before you even get home. My husband doesn't know about informed delivery, and I tell him because he gets home before me, and I say, don't throw that Wayfair coupon away. He's like, how in the hell do you know? I was like, babe, I got connections. So here's how it works. You'll see a picture of your mail piece that's coming in the mailbox, and then what we do is we add an interactive campaign. So we take a full color ad, ride-along ad, and we attach it so that it moves your mail piece to the top of the email, and people can click on the URL to go to your website before they even get home to check their mail.
So it's like SEO for mail.
It is. It is like SEO for mail. I like that. I like that a lot. So it's really awesome because, and actually there's an update, right? 22 million, is it? Check my stats. It's about 22 million people that are signed up for informed delivery. And 86% of people who are signed up open their alerts and emails on a daily basis. That's an average. And signups are increasing by about 1 million per month. They started doing something pretty smart with the national change of address and automatically opting people in when you change your address with the post office. That signups started going up exponentially after they did that. So I thought that was really smart on their point. And we're seeing through the campaigns that we run an average of a 7 to 8% click-through rate on the ride-along image.
So are you picking who that image is being delivered to, though? Who that ad's being delivered to?
It's being delivered to anybody who's signed up for informed delivery that's on your list.
Oh, that's on my list.
That's on your list.
But not just blanketing. So it's
No,
people that are on my
it's only people that are on your list and receiving that piece of mail.
Wow.
Yeah, and it comes on that day that they're receiving the piece of mail. Yeah, what's really cool, and I was actually just at a PCC event, which is a Postal Customer Council event, and they told us that because all of the postmen or the post carriers have a GPS with a scanner to scan packages, they now know when your mail is being delivered to the mailbox. So then they shoot off that informed delivery email when the postman is on your route. So it's getting down that whole like mail moment thing that they're doing, or the final mile, is really cool. They're really closing the gap on it so that this can be done in as close to real time as possible. So it's really awesome. We're super excited about it. It's getting a lot of traction. I actually have a case study that we can share. I don't have it here because it just came in, but somebody through one of our other nonprofit campaigns clicked on an informed delivery URL and ended up doing a $5,000 donation through clicking on informed delivery for one campaign, and it was a donor that usually only gave $1,500. So it actually ended up being a really awesome thing. Lots and lots of traction on informed delivery. And again, these people are opted into receiving this email from the post office. It's not coming from you. It's coming from the post office, and they're opted into it. They raised their hand and they said, yes, I want this, and they're checking it on a daily basis. So what we do for our reporting and our dashboard, just so you guys know, is we'll tell you the number of people who are on your list and receive those informed delivery emails. And we'll tell you how many people opened it and then how many people clicked on the ads. Okay, so we're going to be able to tell you this and then geographically where those people are located so that you can see where you're getting the most engagement from, because geography is a big part of your demographics as well. Where are you getting the most traction? Call tracking is the next feature of Digital Plus Post, and call tracking is very important because people do still pick up the phone and call. We want to make sure that we're attributing those calls back to this direct mail campaign. Okay, we also want you to be able to listen to those recorded calls so you can run any sort of quality assurance, right? Anything internally that you guys can do to make sure that you're getting the most out of the calls that come into the organization, and then a full demographic profile of the person who's calling in. So when somebody calls you, you're not only going to get the date and time of the person that called in, you're going to get their name, their address, if it was a person or a business calling you, if it was a mobile device or a landline, and their age range and gender. Okay, so you're getting a full demographic workup. And again, going back to tying into what Gary was talking about earlier today, demographics is how we duplicate our donors, right? So if we're giving you all of these analytics, then you can utilize them to be better marketers. Okay, and of course we're going to be able to tell you geographically where they're located. If you do SMS texting in your marketing plan and it's a mobile line, you can upload that to your SMS texting platform and add those people to start getting messages. And again, with our integration with Google Maps, you can see geographically where this is happening, so you can see where you're getting the most traction.
Are people calling in, I'm trying to understand that, are people calling in to donate? Because usually people are calling in to complain about something, right? After you do a mailing.
Well, you can monitor that and monitor how many people are calling in to donate versus calling in to say, remove me from your list or...
And other nonprofits, they're getting calls in to donate?
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. Again, it's those different, like, marketing to the different generations. It's typically going to be your older generation that feels more comfortable picking up the phone and calling and donating over the phone or donating via, a business reply mailer, whereas, your Gen Xers, your millennials are probably just going to go to the website and donate, right? So it does vary, but being able to attribute those calls back to that specific mailing is essential because we want to make sure we're hitting people on whatever channel they're utilizing to communicate.
So if our phone number has extensions,
Mm-hmm.
so that call information would not be able to be tracked because you'd call into the main switchboard and then it would have to have one of several different...
So we issue you a call tracking number that people call and it rings through directly to your business line. So when they hit that switchboard, it's still recording all the way through no matter what extension that they're dialing until that phone hangs up.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that this has a lot of implication for recruiting. I don't know if other nonprofits in the room face the same challenge we do. Like, one is we try to get donors, right? But the other is trying to find entry level, we call them direct support professionals, that are the people on the line that are carrying out our mission every day. And it's competitive. We always have like 65 open positions. So it would be really interesting to see what kind of recruiting campaigns, right? Because those are the two people I want to visit my website, or
Right.
employees and donors.
Right.
Yeah. So it's interesting to see how our recruiting team is handling those calls.
Mm-hmm.
More so than, because we don't get that many donation calls either, to be honest with you.
Sure.
We're busy calling them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what, from that DMA response rate report, the statistics are that only 2% of the people that are responding are picking up the phone and calling. But still, we want to know every single channel that people are utilizing to reach into us from this direct mail campaign so that we can attribute the results properly, right? I mean, what if you do get a call that's $5,000 and whoever answered the phone didn't ask, how did you hear about us? Or what prompted you to call us today? Then that's $5,000 that you can't attribute back to this direct mail campaign. So it may only be one call, but that one call could be so important, right? But yes, recruiting is another big one. Online follow-up. So now we're going to get into the re-engagement talk and talk about the 96% of people that leave without taking any sort of an action, because that's a big chunk of people, right? We want to re-engage those people. Those people raised their hand and said, I'm interested, by coming to your website. So we need to pull them back in and say, well, wait a minute. You're interested. Let me convince you that you need to donate or that you need to come to this event, okay? So again, 80% of the sales are made between the 8th and the 12th contact. So what we do is exactly what Amazon does to you, right? For the people that come to your website, when they leave your website and they go about their business, we are going to continue to show them ads. Now, this ad is going to look a lot like the social media ad that they saw before the mail piece went out. It's going to look a lot like the mail piece that was delivered to them. It's going to look exactly like the informed delivery ride-along ad that they received, because that omni-channel marketing approach and that repetition is what's going to get people to take an action. Does that make sense? And when they click on that ad to return to your website, we're going to show you about it. We're going to show you how many times those people saw the ads and how many times those people clicked the ads to return to your website. And again, our goal here is the 8 to 12 touches. So you see in this example, it's 2,400 people that were following, okay, through the Google Display Network, and they saw the ads 24,621 times. So we're repeating over and over and over again. Now, the awesome thing about this re-engagement tool and part of Digital Plus Post is it goes for a total of 60 days from the mail date. You can certainly change your message within those 60 days. But let's think about this for a second. The mail goes out. They get the social media campaign. They get the informed delivery. They get the mail piece. That's all happening within 2 weeks. They might not be ready to take an action in that time frame. They might be interested, but they might not be ready to stroke that check or register for that event or whatever, okay? So then we continue to just touch them. Just remind them, hey, you were interested. You were interested. Are you sure? You don't want to donate something, right? If we continue to touch them for long enough, they're like, all right, already. Here you go. $30, right? Because you're pulling on their heartstrings a little bit, okay? They care about your mission. They were interested. These are people that were interested. This is not people who are just searching around the web, right? So people that raised their hand and said, yeah, I'm interested in your cause. That's the difference here, okay? So these are kind of the stats that Gary shared earlier, but just to recap, website visitors with retargeted display ads are 74% more likely to convert on your website when they return. 74% more likely to actually take that action when you can get them back. And the percentage of people that typically come back increases to 26%. You're starting with an organic 4% of people that are converting on your website. 4%. That's the average. And sometimes in nonprofits, that's actually closer to 2%. So if we can increase that to 26%, think about what that's going to do for your fundraising campaigns. It's going to send them through the roof, right? That's crazy because we don't want to leave any money on that table. And in one study that we ran, retargeted ads led to a 726% lift in site visitation after just 4 weeks of retargeted ad exposure. That's why we run the ads over and over and over again for that total of 60 days. So that's kind of the sweet spot for these people. We're keeping that top of mind awareness, okay? So now let's talk about social media follow-up, and let's just acknowledge for a second that Google and Facebook are competitors when it comes to the ad world. They're competitors. Okay, so naturally we need to utilize both of them, both platforms, because people are on both platforms. Now, one thing that you do need to realize is that Google follows the device. So if somebody goes to your website on their laptop, they're getting followed on their laptop. They go on their phone, they're getting followed on their phone. Social media is not device specific. How many of you guys feel like your phone is listening to you? Oh my gosh, that's crazy. I was just talking about that. I was just looking at that. It's not listening to you. Although everything that you do online is trackable. I will say that, okay? I'm not wanting to scare you, but this is how you can be better marketers because you're going after people who are interested, okay? You're going after people who the message is pertinent to them. So 70% of people access social media daily. How many people in this room have a Facebook or an Instagram? Raise your hand. Awesome. Awesome. How many people have both? Great. I love it. So 43% visit multiple times per day, spending 3 to 4 hours a day on social media. Can you even stand that? Those little 10 minutes and 15 minutes, they add up. They add up a lot. And as the age range gets younger, that time gets more. Okay? 84% access their social media via their mobile device only. I want everyone to look at your phone and the size of your screen right now. Take out your phone. Look at it. Look at the size of your screen. Now, as marketers, we want to say so much. We want to communicate so much. But you need to think about consumer behavior. And you need to think about the size of your platform. 84% of the people that are going to see your ad are seeing it on this big of a screen. You cannot write a book You cannot communicate more than really one line. So make it a good one. Make it your unique selling proposition. Make it what you want them to do. I think Gary said, what percentage of people don't ask, nonprofits don't ask for a donation? What is it?
42.
42%. Ask for the money. There's a line. We need your help financially. Write that check. We know you're not going to volunteer your time. Everybody's busy, right? Oh, the fastest growing new profile demographic on Facebook is age 65 and up. That is important because 3 years ago we could not say that. 3 years ago we could not say that the older demographic was on Facebook, but now the demographic that is most susceptible to direct mail is on social media. Yay! We get to hit them both ways. It's exciting. So here's what happens, okay? And this is why your phone isn't listening to you. You go on your computer, okay? You go to a website, and there's going to be a little pixel on the back end of your site when you do digital plus post, okay? We put a little pixel, a little code on the back end of your site. And what happens is that code identifies that that visitor has a social media account. And the cookie goes onto their social media profile instead of the device. So what happens is you're looking on your computer and you're searching this stuff and cool, and then you go over and you open up your Facebook app and you see an ad for what you were just looking at over here on your computer. It's because the cookie goes on your profile. It doesn't go on the device. So that's why you think your phone's listening to you. It's not listening to you. Yes?
So could you send different messages to people based on what pages they were on your site? So if I have somebody visit my recruiting page, could they get a recruiting message? Or somebody that visits my donation page get a donation message?
Essentially you can, okay? But I'm going to bring you back to the omni-channel marketing approach. So whatever, remember, this audience is from the direct mail campaign. So whatever you're saying in the direct mail, if you're doing something for recruiting, then everything should be about recruiting, and it should only be limited to the recruiting pages. If you're doing something for donations, same thing.
Okay.
Only focus on, because we don't want to retarget people with a donation thing if they're looking for recruiting. That's just, that message doesn't jive, right? Want it to be relevant. I got 5 minutes? Okay, I'm going, hustling. Okay. So, again, the screen, right? Just know image-centric, not a lot of words. And again, you guys will see the dashboard, so I'm going to skip over that because we're going to go into that on the next session. Lead Match is the most groundbreaking product ever. We can identify who came to your website as a result of the mailing. We identify the anonymous visitors that come to your site, and we match those people back to the mailing list that you mailed to. So even though you only got X number of people who reached in and donated right away and you have their contact information, all these other people that came to your website, these anonymous visitors, and they were on your mailing list, we can tell you who those people are.
Wow.
And then you can do a follow-up campaign to them.
Can you tell the difference if they came from your mailing or your social media?
Yes.
Or your,
Yes.
because it's all hitting at the same time,
We can tell you if they were on your mailing list,
but they're also on your social media.
and if they were, oh, no. We can tell you if they were on your mailing list or if they came from some other form of marketing. Okay? We are hitting them with social media, and you'll be able to tell if they came to your website from clicking on that social media ad. But what I'm saying is that if you have other marketing going on, which you all do, and all roads lead to the website, we're going to be able to differentiate your website traffic. You have 3,000 people that came to your website, but guess what? Out of those 3,000 people, 320 of them came from this mailing. So you can actually attribute the results. And you can create another mailing to all those people that came to your website that weren't on your mailing list. You can retarget them with direct mail. So like we're retargeting people with digital ads when they leave your website, somebody comes to your website from some other form of marketing that you're doing, you can stick a mail piece in the mailbox. Then they're really going to think that their phones and their computers, they're listening. So here's how it works, and I don't want to geek out too much on technology because I know our brains are starting to get full, but basically here's how it works. Somebody receives a mail piece, your mail piece in their mailbox, they go to your website, they're going to leave your website without taking any sort of an action. So have any of you guys heard of reverse IP matching? It's been around for a little bit. Okay. This is deeper than reverse IP matching because IPs is just the household. Okay. We want to know who within the household came to the website, right? So we go into the device ID. Every single device has a specific ID. It's like a fingerprint for that device. And then there are cookies on that device. So you ever get in your car in the morning and it says 22 minutes to such and such an address and that's your office, right? You didn't plug that into your GPS. Your phone knows that every day at around that time, that's where you're traveling to, okay? You ever go to buy something and ask for your shipping address and then you start to type it out, autofills? Those are cookies that are on your device. We allowed this to happen. Why? Because if you say, hey Siri, is she going to answer? Yeah, right? Have you guys ever logged into an app utilizing your Facebook account because you don't want to make a new account with new email address? Yeah, so we're allowing these things to happen. Every time you click that allow button, you're allowing these things to happen for convenience. But we can take that data and then we can match it back and we say, okay, Joe Smith at 123 Betty Lane was on your website, and we matched it back to the mailing list. So Joe Smith at 123 Betty Lane was on your mailing list, was on your website, and here you go. Attribution. Did Joe Smith donate? Maybe. Did he not donate? Okay, let's keep hitting him because he's interested. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. And then what you see on your dashboard is the total number of unique visitors that we were able to identify. And then out of that, how many of those people were on your mailing list? So 900 was the total number of unique visitors that came to your site. 179 of them were located on the mailing list. So now you can really unmuddy the results from your direct mail versus all these other channels that you're doing, right? Hooray, it's not a challenge anymore, we know. So do I have time for this?
Go ahead.
Yeah? Okay. You guys want to see some case studies? Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. So this is a church that did a fundraising campaign. They did a movie night, okay? And just to give you an idea of that omni-channel marketing approach, so this was the postcard, these were the Google ads, and then this was the social media ads. So we see how everything is the same. We're not getting clever here. Everything is the same. And then let's take a look. So they had a lot of traffic to their website, okay? 4,590 people came to their website. Okay, so they were doing a lot of different things. They have a lot of members. And out of that 4,590, 945 of them came as a result of that mailing. They were on the mailing list, so they came to the website. They only received 5 calls, which is what you guys have been saying. You don't receive a lot of calls, right? So this really showed what's happening here with this campaign. So 2.4% response rate to the website. And we were able to hit people on Google 334,237 times. We were able to hit people on social media, a total of 1,400 people on social media, 22,847 times. So again, all of those different touch points, all of those different clicks, this really helped them. And now they don't do any promotional mailing without this product attached to it. So let's talk about a school. Let's talk about education for a second. Again, same omni-channel marketing approach. Everything looks the same, very familiar, right? So for this particular school, this was their test run, this first campaign. They sent out 10,481 pieces for new enrollments. They got 940 unique visitors to the website. Out of the 940 unique visitors, we were able to match 547 of them. Out of the 547, 484 of them were from the mailing list. They almost pulled the plug on mailing. They were like, mailing doesn't do anything. We're getting everything from digital. Okay. So then we showed them these analytics and they're like, oh, we can't pull the plug on mailing. We were just getting all of our leads from online. Well, no, duh. People are not coming in with their postcard saying, let me enroll my kid. They're going to your website. That's what's happening here. So they ended up rolling it out for all of their schools. They did 150,000 pieces, got 453 enrollments. They spent about $200,000 on direct mail, and their first year of revenue was $2.9 million. Do you think that's a good return on investment? I think so. Right? So again, they wouldn't have been able to break this all down if they didn't truly see that omni-channel marketing approach and all of those analytics and tying it back to the direct mail. And those extra touch points really help to increase their overall enrollments, right? So here's one, it's entertainment. It was a drama club at a theater, okay? And again, everything's the same. You know it's coming from this company. It looks familiar. And then they get a lot of traffic to their website because it's the theater website too. So they're selling tickets. So how do we really differentiate this? Well, we were able to. They got 17 calls having to do with the drama program. They got 932 people going to the website as a result of the mailing. And the mailing was 4,975 pieces. So that is an incredible response, 18.73% response to the website. Again, we give you more visibility into what your direct mail is doing. And then with those touch points, they actually ended up having to add another class, a whole nother class in order to accommodate the response that they got from this program. So that's everything. So overall, what we see is a 23 to 46% lift on your direct mail marketing when you add digital plus post. Do you guys have any questions?